So at this stage in the game, as the baton is being passed, which is another conversation that needs to occur, we are indebted to our teachers for the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that they implanted within us. And we will honor them while they're here with us, and we will honor them when they are gone and they are no longer with us. We will open up, blessed be their memory, and we will close acknowledging that the Creator worked through them to help bring understanding to our eyes. But make no mistake about it, many of our teachers have reached the age which, according to the Torah, they begin to step down. And another generation, the next generation, begins to stand up and step up. Psychologically speaking, metaphorically speaking, and quite literally speaking, this is what is called passing the baton. So when I was in Chicago and I met Rabbi Nolan, spoke, and I was just so moved by the elder. Rabbi Nolan speaks with such passion, such wisdom, and he's not a tall man, but he speaks with such stature. He speaks from a place of great surety when it comes to the word of the almighty living King of the universe, right? And I was very much inspired by him. After hearing him speak, I was called up to speak, and I made a speech. And after coming down from that speech, he spoke with me on the side, and he said, "Young man, you are some of those people of that next generation that I want to tell you right now, I feel very comfortable passing the baton to." That hit such a responsive chord within me, Chief, it wasn't even funny. This November 7th, I'll be 40 years of age. So, this is a milestone in this country for black men in particular. But spiritually speaking, just following the Torah, 40 is a milestone as well. And to have this elder who is 80 plus years in age and has been acknowledged of himself as an Israelite for over 60 plus of those years, to look at me and tell me within a couple of hours span, I feel comfortable passing the baton to someone like you, that hit me heavy, you know what I mean? And one of the things that I think is necessary in this kind of modality of thought, passing the baton, the teachers who have been paving the way for years, at some point have to begin to usher in and bring in the next generation and bring them before the people while they're still standing, so that the people can see an approved transmission. So that if someone was to, God forbid, no longer be with us anymore, and then one of us pop up as a teacher or as a leader in the community, no one should have any objections, because these teachers should be following the template of the Torah. Our ancient forefathers brought the next generation before the people during their reign, so that the people could see who would come to be after I pass. Moses did it with Joshua. David did it with Solomon. This is a reoccurring theme in the culture of the Torah. One of the problems, though, sadly, in not just our community, but throughout the world, but I guess I could speak for our community, is leaders that have reached a certain plateau and don't want to come off. That's a problem. Why? We must understand that when it comes to the culture of Torah, there comes a point where we all enter an age and a stage where we are no longer operating within our full capacity to do that which we have been known to do. Unless there are individuals out there that think they're like Moses. Because I read about the great man Moses, which the Torah says, even at 120 years old, the man had his full strength. But I also read somewhere in the Torah that there was no man like him. So everybody else doesn't have that.
Everybody's not Moses.
Everybody's not Moses. So if everybody's not Moses and we're following the template and the culture of the Torah, then we need more leaders to promote the next generation before the people, so that there's not a tug of war in their absence, because our leaders are at some point not going to be here. And that is going to be because our leaders are going to be gone for good. May their memory be blessed. But what we have to consider in those moments, in that moment, is that the Creator continually reminds us, don't be worried about that, because that is the way of all man. This is a natural occurrence in the earth. Man will die. Hence why I told you, don't put your trust in man. With all of those thoughts in mind, with Rabbi Nolan telling me I feel comfortable passing the baton to you, and the man barely heard me, but was so moved by that which I spoke and represented, spoke volumes to me. And I think in more ways than one, many teachers could look towards him for wisdom in that regard.
So this past weekend, you just got back from Chicago.
That's right.
What was that trip about, and what was your dealings in Chicago?
The Chicago trip
were your dealings in
was
Chicago?
beautiful. The Chicago trip, I went there for a conference. The conference was entitled a Unity Conference for Torah observant Israelites that wish or endeavor to place the Torah upon a high plateau or pedestal. And it was a beautiful conference, man. It was short, it wasn't too long, but it was beautiful nonetheless. And I had an opportunity to meet Rabbi Nolan, someone who has an amazing time span or chronology in the community. The man has been around a very long time. Your who's who throughout the communities in this country are familiar with him. You know, he's been around some of our greatest teachers and their teachers as well. Our teacher. Right. You know, he's 80 plus years old. I also met his daughter, Dr. Debra Franklin. What an amazing spirit on this woman. An amazing spirit. You know, I always give credit where credit is due when I cross paths with certain personalities, and I was very impressed with just her level of being genuine, of her level of intelligence, and her level of just being a great spirited individual. You know, I can't say that about everybody I meet. So when I have the opportunity, I want to say it very audibly. You know what I mean? Just an amazing person. And the trip itself overall was nice. The city of Chicago was absolutely beautiful. I got to try some of their local dishes. You know, living here in New York City, we always talk about how great the pizza is and how New York pizza can't compare to, you know, pizzas in other parts of the country. Well, I don't know. Because I had the deep dish pizza in Chicago finally, and it was absolutely amazing. In fact, as I'm saying it right now, my mouth is watering because that's how good it was.
Oh, wow.
I got a taste for it now. You know, they say once a shark get a bite of a human being, if that shark gets away, that's a dangerous shark, because now he got a taste for human blood. Now he got a taste for human flesh. Oh, so now I got a taste for Chicago deep dish pizza. I'll tell you that right now.